Hello everybody, today I'm going to show you how to set up a quest. Now, quests are like big empty buckets. It's easy to set them up, it's not so easy to fill them. In fact, quest mods are the hardest mods to make because you have to know a little bit about everything and it can be a bit daunting. So I'm going to try and show you some of the basics today. What we're going to do is we're going to go through the process of setting up a quest. It's not going to do anything, I'm not going to make it do anything at all, it's just going to be an empty quest. Because this is what you need to know. This is quest making 101. Now, first trick is to name all your quests with a first prefix. Like I have TEG, the engineering guild. You see, these are my quests for the Return to Helgen mod. Now, if I was to just show you the patrol one quick, you see, there's all my stuff, names, etc. You see, quest at the end, quest script at the end. We're going to go through making a new quest here. This one we're going to call TEG. You just do exactly what I do. Give it a name, TEG test quest. Alright. Quest name is what appears when you start the quest in the game. Alright. Priority 20 is about right. I'm going to set it as a main quest. Start game enabled, stop working properly in Skyrim 1.7, so there's no point running that. There's no point running that either, I wouldn't think, because I found the code to control stuff isn't reliable. Don't do anything else at this point, just click on OK. Right, now we find it again here, go back, and we just select that, you press Ctrl C to copy it, and we go over here to scripts and we go to add scripts. Oh great, there's errors in the Heathcliff whatever DLC. Anyway, we click on new script here. Now here's a tip for you, right? If that will appear blank if you haven't closed the quest window first and then reopened it, this is why you close it and reopen it. Right? You do that and then you just type in script. You see? So it matches the name of the quest but a script at the end, so it's obviously a different name. It makes it easy to identify things. You'll be grateful for that later on. Now, there we go. Now if we go to there and click properties, this is where we declare what they call aliases. They say property name, but they're actually aliases. That means where you substitute one name for a real name. In this case, we're going to say link it to the Civil War Master Quest, this one here. Now, I've just double clicked on it there to select it. Select that, press Ctrl C to copy it, OK that, right? I'm just going to show you how to set up a path so you can communicate with other quest verts. Right, it's important this is, right? So we click on add properties, we go to this, press Q to jump down to quest, select quests. Property name, we're going to cut and paste the Civil War thing in there. So we press Ctrl V to paste it, right? And we just OK that. Now it'll appear here. Now you notice it's automatically giving it the value of the quest. That's because we used the quest's real name. Right, if we use the real name, by default it defaults to the quest it's named after. So the alias is the same as the real quest name, but we could change that to anything and then manually pick it from this side here. But I wanted to show you with the quick and easy way. We OK that. Now if we just right click on that again, look, then go to edit source. There it is right there, you see. Now if we want to use conditions, as in your variables, we have to put a conditional in the end. I'll just show you how it looks in another quest, right? I think Patrol has one. Yeah, look there, look, you see we had conditional to the end, right? This allows us to use various properties outside the scripts. So we're going to make our quest conditional as well. It doesn't cause any harm to do it, so we'll do it there, right? We're going to set up a conditional there as well. So we can do that directly from here. Right, so we just put int my var, right, and as it's int property my var. I'm getting lazy here. Int property my var auto conditional. That means my there can now be used in other quests. We can share information from this quest with other quests. Because we've declared that there, we can actually use variables from that quest in our new quest. That's how you do it. You declare the quest you want to use, or the variables you want to use from another quest, by doing that right there. Now if we save it, if we get any errors, it'll say so. I'm always getting errors at this point, always. So I don't expect you to get it right first time. It's natural to make mistakes. Right, anyhow, there we go, right? So now we can use the Teg Civil War Master quest in this quest if we want, which is straightforward. Now, we've got everything set up now for your quest, and we just do close that. At this point, you'd save your mod, right? We'd save your mod right here, so we're going to save that now. Okay. Now, before I move on, we're going to deal with a lot of complicated topics, so I'm going to take this one bit at a time. Right, now we've set the quest that we want to run it. We use a trigger in a world like this. It's the player runs through it and it sets it off. You can make the trigger big or small, whatever, but to get it, don't go to this menu here, because anything you place in the menu from that side is invisible. Just find a trigger in the world you want, right, then select it and then press Ctrl C and Ctrl V to copy and paste it. Now once you've pasted it to where you want it to be, just go to Edit Base and change the ID, and when it says, well, then you OK it, and then when it says create new form, say yes. Then go and open it again and just remove the existing script in it and add your own. Now remember the trick I told you, use the ID name, and then when you go and place a new script, you just add the word scripts to the end. I haven't done it here, but if you do it, you'll keep it organised. Now if you click on properties, any variable, NPC, book, rock, whatever you need has to be added here, right? So if you go to properties, you'll see a list of objects that's recognised by the script. Right there. You need to set them up from there. Most common ones are actor, quest and object reference, but other ones are also used too. Now on this side here, if you see quest equals quest, because I cut and paste the actual quest name in, it auto filled it in at the other side, so I didn't have to go to this side and manually select it or use autofill. It did it for me. You can do that with soldiers and actors and anything, in fact, but sometimes when you get integers down here, you know, that used for controlling quests, just leave it at default, don't bother changing it, right? But always make sure when you set up something fresh in here, just close it first, right, and go back and check it again, because I've found the editor forgets what you put here, and this is I mean basically that's saying this is my alias for the real item at this side. So if this side says default, it says this is my alias for we've forgotten what we were alias for. So you've got to change that from default to what it should be pointing at, and that's the same with every single quest and any scripts is added to them, or any box or anything. You need to make sure these are set up right, so double check. Now if we just look at this, right, we're going to show you two things here. First of all, we use an integer here, do once. That's just a random name. I could put integer Mr. Blob is a fat git 01, anything can do. It's just do once is a descriptive name. Beth Sara used it for Oblivion, I've just kept on using it. Now the trigger is executed here. This is the trigger itself, but it's actually broken up into sections. That's one quest running. Alright, the do once there says if do once equals 0, that means is it 0? Two equal signs is asking is it 0? One equal sign is set it to 1. There you see. So that is asking is it 0? If it is, run all this stuff. If it isn't, it doesn't. And at the bottom we set it to 1 using one equal sign. So one equal sign is set this to 1, two equal signs is asking is it 0? Right? Now if we actually look at this right here, that starts the quest. The moment the player enters that trigger box, you can't see it, but the moment he enters the trigger box, it starts these quests here, then sets all this stuff up, you see. Now the next important thing to notice is this: teg market open as teg market open dot script. Now remember what I said to you, you take the quest name and add script to the end for the script. So that's the quest name. In fact, it's that quest right here, you see. And then we're saying load, well, it's saying run test market open as its own script, test market open script, and run the begin wait command. That's how you access commands or functions from a completely different quest, by naming the quest and then as the quest script, and then you put the function you want to run from it. When you're dealing with your own, with the quest's own functions, you use that get own quest, which I'll show you in a minute, instead of the quest name here. Now, most commands for Skyrim are designed to run from a script, so they'll all work from the script environment, but they won't work from the quest window. So I'm going to show you what you to do about that next. Now, I'm going to show you how to correctly execute code from a dialog box, but I'm not going to show you how to set up the dialog. Just so you understand the organisation, the way that works. Now, if we actually go to the Civil War quest script here, or thingy, and we go to dialog, right, you'll see an example. It takes a while to load this, by the way. Now we just go to that one, click on that one. Ask about assignment. Now this is the dialog at the top here, and these are the conditions. Now I'll cover these conditions in a minute. But this get VM quest variable thing, that's what I use to control this quest dialog, to say when it appears, when it doesn't appear. The reason why I use that is because Bethesda keeps breaking commands in every patch they release, and the only way to ensure their sloppy quality control doesn't break my mods is to use my own quest variables to control my mods or my quests. So that's what I'm doing there. Now getThis ID is the NPC, right? It applies to these two NPCs. This one here, get quest variable, means that quest variable has to be greater than 0, and this one here has to be 0 for this dialog to even appear to the player. But that's just me explaining that. This is what I want you to see here, down here. Now, because we're talking about the this particular quest's own variables, we use a special command called get owning quest. Now if we just go down here and we have a look at this here, look, this is where I pasted it in earlier. Get owning quest means this quest, right, as this quest script name. That's the script, that's the quest's own script, right, because this is the Civil War master quest, remember. We just call it that because we're in that quest, and that is the function in the quest that we want to run. Now instead of putting loads of commands down here like we might have done in older games, we just use that one line there now to point to a function in a script, because this window and everything in it doesn't support half the commands. This is a halfway house between the old system and the new system, and it's completely screwed up. It's basically, this is why things keep breaking. So we're going to use the new system and not the old system, or try and get new commands to work in here, because they don't work in there very well. So we're pointing at the script, we're going to let the script do the work. Now if we just cancel that and go to the script here, we've got the master scripts. Again, we've got the properties set up. These here with the default things, they're integers. I don't need to set them up, so I'll leave them at default, but you need to make sure all these are properly set, when you add in NPCs. Anything you use in a script has to be set up here using the add property command there. Now if we just right click on there and we go to here, if you look, a Helgen assignment is there. So that's the function this runs. So from that dialog we saw, it executes this function. This is what that actually does when you click on that dialog. Now anything we need, we stick between the function Helgen assignment and the end function boxes. Here we add the player, which is done using the game.getPlayer brackets. That's how you identify the player from these scripts, and we stick him in a faction called Helgen Guards. 0 means add to faction. If I set that to -1, it would remove him from the faction. And this Helgen assignment equals 1, that's saying set this Helgen assignment to 1. Now if you remember, that other dialog box only showed if Helgen assignment was set to 0. So by making this set to 1, we make that dialog disappear. There are other official ways of making dialog disappear, but trust me, don't use them. They're buggy as shit. Just avoid them. Use your own control vers and Bethesda proof yourself. Now if you want this there to be available in another quest or from AI packages, so you can do a you know an update to make the NPCs change. What you do is you need the conditional thing assigned at the top of the quest name. You just add that to the end of the quest name, conditional, and any integer you want to share with other quests or AI packages, you add to the end of the integer thing as well there, or whatever. So you got integer property, tech chosen side, auto, conditional. That means that will appear to AI packages. So that's how you do it. Remember, right, the functions are how you control everything now. So stick all your code in between there. Now if I just go down here quick and show you something else, you see the rank score there, that's another integer. Remember, it was set to default before because we were setting it inside the quest, so we didn't need to set it up beforehand. It was set to 0 automatically. So we go to rank score equals rank score plus 2. So we're adding 2 to whatever rank score originally was. We go down a bit further, player rewards. Now player rewards is just another function. Because we got player rewards brackets there, all it's going to do is going to run the player rewards function, which should be somewhere up here. Can't find it anywhere, but it's somewhere up there anyway. But anyway, you've got here, this is in a message box as well. This will pop up, you know, with a message when the player does something. It's good for testing your quests. I'm using this one because I found the message box is again another thing that doesn't run very well, so the debug one does, so that's what I use. So when this particular part of the quest runs, the thing will say patrol over civilian, says fast travel enabled. That means I've done that because it checks to see if the player's in uniform, and that bit there tells the player that the script knows it didn't do it in uniform. But if you look here, I've got a special condition here where get game player is equipped, armor equals cuirass equals 1. That's asking if he's wearing the armor. So it knows, and it knows it's in one side 1, which is the Imperials. So that's the check right there. That's how it works, you see. Anyway, this is just the code. I wanted to show you how to access the functions from the dialogue. That's important. That's how you run commands. Don't even attempt to run it from here. Just link straight to the functions in the script and you'll be fine. It's a far more reliable way of doing anything. Remember this, I'll show you the code again, right? This is how you do it. Oops, I hate when it does that. Go away. Remember, this is how you do it. Use a get owning quest to access the scripts, or the quest's own script. This is a script that contains that command, by the way. Anyway, that's it for that bit. Let's move on. Now we're going to show you how to loop a quest and some of the problems you get with it. Now, this is a basic market script. It enables the market. But remember, we started this from the trigger, that trigger there in Helgen. Right, it's one of the first things that starts when you go up them stairs and pass through that trigger. And we used that trigger instead of the onload trigger because the onload command is a bit buggy. So the player has to go through that trigger to start this quest. Now, once it starts, it runs this, you see. We actually use, if I actually just open it up quick, I'll show you. We actually not only start the quest, but we name the function we want to run. Now, I named the market open quest there so we can access it. That's what's required for us to use it from within this script. Now if we just go to here, market open is started there, but then we run the function from there using the name of the quest as the name of the quest script dot begin wait. Right, that's the line that runs, you know, this particular bit of function here. Right, so we use, I can't even find it again, but we use that other line to run this, and what that does is it sets register for update to 3,200 seconds. Now that's 3,200 seconds is a delay. I found the timers in Skyrim are really crap as well and very unreliable, so I used the register for update as a timer instead. Now that will run this bit of code every 3,200 seconds. So register for update runs the event on update box or block, which is this bit. Now this should only run once, and that command there should stop it, and this should mark a quest complete, and that should mark the quest stop. But what happens is that doesn't do anything. That marks even completed quests completed over and over again, and stop doesn't do sod all. I'm sure that does do something, the quest complete. It's just not working as you expect it to. So I had to use again some control variables at the top to make sure it only run once. I typed in my usual do once 01 there, and then I put if it equals 0, run all this, and then set it to 1 so it doesn't run again. That's the only way I can stop that block endlessly looping, because what the event on update does is it loops around as often as this register for update tells it to. So if you set that to 5 seconds, this would loop around every 5 seconds. A very useful bit of code, but you've got to remember to use control varies to limit it so you can turn parts off, because this control var, this command that's supposed to do the job, doesn't bloody work. You'll find a lot of stuff like that in the Skyrim. I'm surprised the game works at all, to be honest, because half the commands don't work or work very badly. Now, I told you about the functions, didn't I, before? About only running, about how to run, let's close all these windows, about how to run various things from a box. Actually, patrol, that's the one I want. Patrol, right, there we go. Right, now, I actually set this up to run 2 functions from the same dialog box. Right, now this whole new scripting language for Skyrim isn't very efficient at all. In fact, it's bloody nuisance, right? But I set it here to run 2. As a result, I don't think the second one is running properly. So only use one, only point at one function from there. Right, consider that a workaround for limitations of the Papyrus scripting language. Don't use 2 like I've done, right? You might lead to problems. Anyhow, just one more thing. Remember the conditional setting for the quests? Wait for it to open. It takes its time, doesn't it? I told you here that you've got to set a script name to conditional to use its variables outside, and here's one we've got here. Look, integer property text chosen side auto conditional. There, right? That means that's broadcast to other quests, so other quests can use it. But it also means you can use it from any condition box. Use it from here. Everything's slow in this editor, I tell you, everything. Use it from here, right there, in the conditions there, or any other place. You access it using the getVMQuest variable. You can use that as well inside AI packages and write scripts to update the packages. But remember, if you're gonna run packages from a script and using conditions to enable and disable them, you put any packages with a condition at the top of the package list, so they run whenever they're true, because it goes in priority. The top of the list is the ones that runs first. If you've got a package that says get VMQuest variable myVar equals 1, if it's not 1, it'll ignore that package and it'll skip to the next one. But if you've got one that's got no package, no condition, it will always run it. So it'll override anything else below it. So you put anything with no variables or no defined parameters for running at the bottom, and you put your conditions at the top. So when your packages with conditions are chosen, they're chosen first. If true, they run. If not, they're skipped. But you use that getVMQuest variable to do that. There's a big complicated topic here to deal with it all, and to be honest, right, it takes too long to do it in one video, so I'm going to have to break it up into little bits. But what I've showed you today is the very, very basics needed to get a quest running, and give you some idea of some of the ways you've got to build the quest in order to get started. It's up to you to look up the commands and do the rest of the work. But remember, put the commands in a script. Don't try putting it in this dialog box. The dialog box, right, seems to be running on the old system mostly, whereas the scripts expect the commands to be entered as described on the wiki. So you tend to get better results when you're putting it in the script rather than the dialog boxes, which are these, right? That's what I mean here. Don't put the commands down here. That's going to be loads of problems there. Always stick it in the scripts up here. And don't forget, right, anything you will use in a script has to be set up as a property here. And if you take the actual proper name and you cut and paste a proper name in there after setting whatever it is, it should usually automatically fill it in at this side as well, because that is an alias, that is the actual name at the other side. Right, by typing the actual name on the alias side, it auto fills in the actual name at the other side for you. And always double check this is set before saving your mod or whatever else, because if this isn't set right, your quest won't work. Right, that's it then. Hopefully that's a good enough introduction to get you started.